close your eyes.
Kansas Speedway, host for the start of the second half of the season. The road is in sight for the championship. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Pete Ruzick for SnB's Cup Series presented by WoodyxCA. All right, Pete, we're in for a fun race tonight. How you doing tonight?
Eliza, I am doing absolutely great. Dover was an amazing race last week. We saw John Honeycutt grab the checkers. Several different winners so far this season. Waiting to see if we add another one to it. How are you?
I'm doing great. I think it's going to be a fun one. Looking back on the history, I'm kind of curious. We've talked about Brody being a huge runner-up and making his way, trying to get into victory lane. I'm kind of curious if tonight is going to be the night. Last season, he got second here at Kansas. Holzer did end up winning it, but I'm kind of curious. Can we get Falliker into victory lane tonight?
Yeah, I think last season when he hit that second place, it was like a string of three second place finishes in a row. And that's where I told the guy not to give up, keep plugging away. That first win was going to come. And if I'm not mistaken, it came very, very shortly thereafter as we start to see these guys roll out on track. Qualifying is underway.
Yeah, they're qualifying, and we're on board with Andrew Wisdom, who is looking really solid in the points. He's had a great season so far. He's sitting P3 in the points with 229. Matthew O'Brien is leading the points with Thomas Harmon in second. And we'll go over that shortly, but we'll see the type of line. I'm kind of curious, Pete. Are we going to see a lot of these guys take that high side in qualifying, you think?
I do. I think a lot of these guys are going to build up the momentum on the high side, maybe duck down a little bit. But the more you go to the bottom, Eliza, the more wheel you're having to put into it, which is going to scrub that right front. And throughout practice, talking to some of the guys, they were complaining that the car was absolutely plowing. They said it was kind of like the old adage that you used to hear more often now, or more often than you do now, where the car was like a dump truck. Well, we'll have to see just how much throttle time these guys have or how much they allow that car to wrap the high side before they get back in the throttle to avoid that tight sensation.
Matt O'Brien is already to the top of the charts, and let's take a look at the times here. Francis Hamilton, looks like he was the top of the charts for qualifying. Matt O'Brien, though, I'm showing two different things, Pete. It's kind of interesting. But we'll see what happens with these guys. Tom Flitcroft, we see him getting ready to end his qualifying, and I don't know who you see as qualifying the fastest, but right now I'm showing two different things.
Yep, right now it looks like the 68 of Tom Harmon just went to the top of the boards with a 31.45. Matt O'Brien P2, Andrew Wisdom, Tom Flitcroft that you just talked about in that number 8, and then Cody Kalinka in that 79 Chevrolet. Matt Burgess just bumps Matt O'Brien, putting himself P2.
There we go. We have that fixed. And I want to give a birthday shout out to Snow Leopard. Said he is he turned 17 on Saturday. So huge happy birthday to you. I hope you're doing great. And thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys are having a great night. Let's go take a look. We have Jordan McGraw out on track. We have Matt Burgess, John Honeycutt making those qualifying laps. Jacob Locklear, Justin Anna Sagak out there, Andrew Sanford, Kyle Taub, Joe Berg. So quite a few drivers still left to qualify here.
Boy, I am excited about the car that the one and only John Honeycutt, last week's winner, has decided to bring to Kansas. We're talking of that big old S on his chest, and he's got to feel pretty good, maybe even a little bit of momentum in the tank for the one and only John Honeycutt, rocking the Superman scheme.
Yeah, you can see him go through the grass, but man, that is a sharp scheme. I really enjoy that one. So great to see him out here with it. Brody Falliker currently sitting P7. We'll see if we can't get him up through qualifying. Looks like possibly a new paint scheme out there, looking pretty solid. So I love to see all the paint scheme that these guys come with. But tonight, I want to go back to that. It's going to be huge for tire saving. These guys are going to be extremely tight, and we might see a couple of drivers that are going to the wall. So we'll see what happens here. And it looks like I still have the sound on, so we'll turn that off.
I tell you what, you're talking about Brody Falliker, and now he's fastest in practice. Well, the young man just put that Team FIWB #1 Camaro on the provisional pole, we'll say that, with a time of 31:26. Eliza, 2/10 faster than Tom Harmon in P2.
What an insane lap right there. So, like I said, he's been so extremely strong lately. And with his great season last season and his race here, I really think that he's got a great shot to make it into victory lane tonight. I don't want to jinx him. Chuck Cody having an interesting time out there, loses a wheel. Luckily, he can reset that before the race. But Francis Hamilton, who was fastest in practice, he's out here making his quali lap.
Yeah, Francis Hamilton trying to get on up there, try to back up that practice time, brings back the Detroit Tigers number 48 scheme. Right now, all the way down on the bottom, kind of running that second groove as qualifying time is up. We'll have to see how he falls. So far, it looks like it's going to be Falliker and Harmon on the pole.
Yeah, Brody Falliker is going to be on pole. Thomas Harmon going to be right beside him as we get ready to grid and get this race going at Kansas. It's going to be a fun one. I see you guys out there. Smeagol, what's up? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Snow Leopard, I've been great. We have sounds for the stream. You can test it. I do believe we do, but they just might be turned down a little bit. Let's get these guys lined up. You can see them all the way over there. Brody Falliker is going to be on pole tonight with a 31.259 with Thomas Harmon on his outside. In row 2, we're going to have Justin in that 47 machine alongside Matt Burgess. In row 3, we're going to have Matt O'Brien in the 43 car with Luke Allen in 6. In row 4, we're going to have Rivers Jones in the 91 car with Joe Berg on the outside. And in row 5, John Honeycutt is going to be in the 50 car with Andrew Wisdom in the 51.
J-Mac in that number 34 is going to sit P11 with Tom Flitcroft. Old Tom Flitty in that 8, rocking P12. P13 is going to be Jimmy Cocker in the 11 with Cody Kalinka in the 79 to his outside for row 7. Row 8, Joe Turley in the 97 with P.J. O'Leary in the Fame 24. Riley Rosenbrook in the 86 sitting P17 with Jacob Locklear in the 84 to his outside. Dylan Robb in the 03 sitting 19th, and the 333 of Jeff Byers for P20.
And 21st, we have Jacob Palmer in the 39 car with Andrew Sanford on the outside in that 37 machine. Jose Ruiz in 23rd in that 23 machine with Kyle Taub in the 13. And it looks like Philip Bridgman is going to be in 25th with Chuck Cody on his outside. And in 27th, we have Francis Hamilton in the 48 car with Kevin Delatorre in the 92 machine. Hunter Johnson is going to be 29th in the 18 car with Jarrett Cardwell in the 2 car. And for the final row, it's going to be Connor Cunningham in the 3 machine with Brian Pizzichemi. starting in this 78 car.
Absolutely. 16 rows of Bad Fat Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series drivers. I tell you what, Kevin Delatorre in that 92 and all of Dart Motorsports really, really proud of their schemes. Great to see that Wawa machine a little bit further back than he'd probably like in qualifying, but there's going to be a great race. Have to see just how much he's able to progress as the race progresses on.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what these guys do. I already told the drivers, I said, I think we're going to see some slide jobs tonight, so don't be surprised if you go back and see me screaming out slide job. But it's a fun track. It is tight, so I think we're going to see some cars get into each other, Pete, as they're trying to make that happen or just sliding up the track. It's going to make for some interesting laps, but we'll see how they do.
So you know that whole thing that where Dale Jr. was caught saying slide job, slide job. He actually meant to be doing that off air. He didn't realize that his mic was hot at the time. He was trying to tell Rick Allen or something like that to say that, and they actually caught him instead. Eliza, we're green.
We are green here at Kansas Speedway, presented by WoodyxCA, and already Thomas Harmon, he goes to the lead right out in front of Brody Falliker, who goes to second. Justin, who I spoke to earlier, said, I might be around a 15th place car, and he is up here sitting P4 currently.
Yeah, that battle for the lead. The 68 is going to go ahead and dive it in on the low side. This will be a great test of the momentum on the high side as Brody Falliker says, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and tuck in right behind the 68. Maybe save a little bit. Eliza, who am I kidding? That one is on attack mode.
He is on attack mode, but if he can get up to Harmon's bumper there, they possibly could get away, but Matt Burgess says, no can do. I am coming right up here with you guys. He's got Luke Allen in tow and a whole gaggle of cars, so these guys are not going to be able to get away just yet.
Now Justin Anscock in that number 47 Old Spice machine. He's got our current points leader, Matt O'Brien. Matt's already down one spot, rocking P6. He could just be doing that to save a little bit of tire. And right behind Matt O'Brien is going to be Rivers Jones, Andrew Wisdom, John Honeycutt, and Joe Berg to round out the top 10. And just as I say that, Brody Falliker goes shake and bake purple with the best lap so far, the 31.8.
To the lead he goes once again. I mean, he was the pole sitter here, and here he is in the lead. Luke Allen directly behind him. Great run for him so far in that 7 machine. Thomas Harmony's going to fall back to sitting P3, but take a look at these guys. 2, 3 wide, all the way through to the back. Some wild racing. Let's take a look at some of this racing back here. 21st, Philip Bridgman in that 9 machine, and he is outside of that 03. Dylan C. Robb racing all throughout this field, Pete.
Absolutely. Usually we're talking about, hornet's nests and whatnot. Right now, Eliza, there is a line of a hornet's nest going all the way back to the rear. You see the Best Buy machine right around Philip Bridgman and the 03 as well as the 86, the 333. These guys, this is what we're going to see all night long because there's so many grooves here at Kansas.
Oh, I absolutely agree. But once these guys start to get tight and the tire wear is coming in, I really feel like there's going to be some separation out here. Let's go back to the front. We have John Honeycutt up 3 spots from where he started. Luke Allen, he's sitting P2. Up 4 spots from where he started. These guys are starting to break away from the field. He is directly behind Brody, and then leading this next pack is going to be Justin, and I think he is in for a better run than P15.
Yeah, P15 is right about mid-pack, again with 32 drivers out here on track. You see the 34 of Jordan McGraw, Cody Kalinka, Jacob Locklear, PJ O'Leary. That's a nice looking 84. Justin Locklear actually just got done with his scheme. Looking pretty good, kind of like the fiber part of it and all that. As PJ O'Leary down low on the 24. These guys just switching positions lap after lap.
Yeah, well, I just made some team cars yesterday. That 84 is a throwback to our first season for FTR. So I still have a few to make, but he's the first one to run it here tonight. Looking good out here, but man, this racing, Luke Allen, how about this? To the lead, Brody Falliker is underneath him. These guys battling for it, and that has allowed some of the other drivers to catch up. Justin right behind him, John Honeycutt. But Luke Allen, solid start for him. Super excited. We'll see if he can't keep these guys behind him.
I almost wonder if the one was pushing a little bit harder than he wanted to, or maybe he says, you know, I got a point for leading a lap. Look at the run that the 47 of Justin Anaskog has, getting underneath that Mountain Dew machine of Luke Allen. 47 Old Spice, shades of Tony Stewart, going to the lead.
Yeah, he is looking solid out there. I don't know what he's talking about, saying that he only had a 15th place car. I told him, I said, every time I've seen you, you've been extremely strong. I got faith in you. And he just gave me a little laugh and said, I appreciate it. But so far out here in the lead, Luke Allen in second. Kerblam, I see you out there. Good evening. Stacka, hope you guys are doing well. It's a great night at Kansas. 9 of 120 laps. Still plenty of racing left, but Justin, he's got a nice little gap out here sitting in the lead.
Absolutely, and right about now, this is where Justin should be thinking about his car, right about, you know, saving that right front a little bit. He's got the lead, back it down. You don't need to pull away from the field. You just need to hold your position and just conserve. The 50 and the 7 now dueling it out. 50 to the inside, 7 up by the wall.
Take a look at this. Luke Allen is going to lose another spot. John Honeycutt goes up into P4. Actually, these guys are still battling it out, and you can see a lot of these guys, if you look in the back of the field, they're getting so close to that wall. So I think we are going to see some cars late in the run start to make some contact. We might see some cars actually driving that high line, because it might feel a little bit better as this track starts to change.
Absolutely, and just as you say that, I checked in with the 18 Napa machine for Hunter Johnson. He just tagged the wall with the right rear just a tad, and then he's going to give a little bit of a love tap to the 86 just ahead of him, and just about put him in the wall. I think the 86 might have gone in the corner just a little bit faster than he may have wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, this is chaos back here. So close together. That's the type of racing that I absolutely love to be involved with. But man, it can get pretty sketchy pretty quickly. But you see these guys trying to take it easy. Riley really on top of that wheel as he's trying not to go into Jordan and trying to keep it off the wall. So these guys are going to have to be on top of that wheel tonight. Make sure their car isn't too tight. And sometimes if you turn a little bit too soon and don't have enough speed, you can break loose, and that could be an issue too.
Absolutely, yeah. These cars do not like being moved too quickly or put in any kind of a direction too quickly. When the next gens first came out, if it got loose and you went to try to correct it and you overcorrected it, there was no chance in saving it. It would just go straight to the outside wall. Since then, with updates that iRacing has done, it's not quite as dramatic, but it's still at times can be can be very tough to save.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at Tom Flitcroft sitting P4 up 8 spots from where he started. He is looking really solid. Kansas looks good on him tonight in that Mountain Dew machine. His laps, very consistent, and he's got Matthew O'Brien right behind him, who is our points leader. So we need to keep an eye on these two.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lap times for the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. He's been the fastest of the guy ahead and the guy behind 3 of the last 5 laps, so might be chugging on something right along with the Mountain Dew. But Tom Flitcroft, he is always a great guy to talk to and a lot of fun to live with.
Take a look at that line that he is driving up towards the high side. Meanwhile, the drivers in front of him are taking that low side. The high side, you get that beautiful run off, huge momentum. But the thing is, you do it consistently, you're gonna wear down those tires a little more than the guys around you who are not. So we're gonna see him try to switch it up, I guarantee. That way he saves those right side tires.
Absolutely, and it really is something that you've gotta figure out. Is there a happy medium between the low side and the high side? Do you run the kind of the line that the 8 of Tom Flitcroft just ran? He's kind of running that middle. As Eliza, it looks like we got caution number 1 on lap 16.
Got a caution here. Let's see if we can find out where it happened. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything.
I'm not seeing anything either. We're going to take a look. We have the 48 3 wide with the 9. Ooh, some chaos happening right here. Looks like the 84 involved. Let's back it up a little bit and see if we can't find out again what happened.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Berg in that 93 and the 84 of Jacob Lockley are kind of tagging doors just a little bit under yellow. So something tells me there's a little bit of a story to it.
Let's go back on with these guys. 3 wide, the 84 and 93, as Pete said, just made some contact. Nowhere really to go. Hopefully not a ton of damage, but you can see that right front definitely has some issues there, and he'll have to go in and repair that one.
Yeah, very unfortunate. The 93, excuse me, Joe Berg kind of lost the front end, and then iRacing decided that the damage wasn't quite that bad and put it right back on again. But Eliza, it looks like everybody's going to come on down pit road for 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. Go ahead and top it off. These guys are getting anywhere between 60 and 65 laps on the tank, so this is just the start.
Just the start for these guys. Let's find out if anyone stayed out. John Honeycutt looks like he is one that stayed out. Interesting call on his part there. Let's see.
Well, there is a casino close by. Maybe you felt a little like gambling.
Reminder, he did win last week's race. First time, he said, in 5 years that he's been here, that he's won an SnB race. So he's got the Superman on today. Hopefully he's feeling pretty confident. I know that he enjoyed that win last week, and we'll see if he can't make it happen again tonight. But interesting call for sure. Kevin Delatorre is going to be in second place in that 92 machine. Jeff Byers going to come out third. Brody Falliger, strong run for him so far. He's going to come out fourth.
Actually, Eliza, it looks like John Honeycutt is joined by Kevin Delatorre and Jeff Byers, as all 3 stayed out. So it's going to be interesting. Does Superman have the strength to keep the lead, or is P2 Kevin Delatorre all hopped up on sugar from Wawa?
There they go.
The plot thickens. They wanted just to point the lead a lap.
I think so. Stayed out. They're going to go in. Save that extra lap of fuel there. John Honeycutt is going to get a bonus point for leading a lap. And while we're under caution break, let's go ahead and bring out the WoodyxCA. Go ahead and click on that link. He does NASCAR Heat now that is back online. He does Warzone. He streams it out on Twitch. So give him a follow. Go out there, give him a follow. Come back here, tune in. But make sure you tune in. He's a lot of fun to watch, and I know he will appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I joined him a couple weeks back over while he was racing. I believe it was Forza. And stopped in, said, "Hey, Woody, how you doing?" And just carry on a whole conversation. So definitely go on over, give him a follow, come on back. We are gonna go back green right around lap 21. So make sure you're here for it.
Subbed for 37 months. Yo.
Right, let's get Brody in here. I tried to move him, but it wouldn't let me. Let's see if we can do it this way, as he is going to be leading the field back. Brody, I'm sorry I stole you from your team chat there. But man, you are looking very strong tonight. You were my vote to win tonight's race. You did really well last season. Second place, how do you feel your chances are to get a win tonight?
I feel like they're pretty good. We sat on pole tonight, and I really wasn't expecting that. So, as long as we keep it clean, and I think this 47, my outside, is really going to give me a run for my money right here. I think he's got really good pace.
I think so, but I wish you a ton of luck. Don't want to keep you, but good luck out there. Go get him.
Thank you.
All right, you heard it there from Brody Falliger, and I think he's right. Justin, he's going to be ready at the helm, right beside him, waiting for that restart as we go back to green, heading to lap 21 of 120. Pete, it's going to be a wild one.
Absolutely. You can never go wrong picking the one of Brody Falliger whatsoever. The man is consistently inside the top 5, maybe top 10. And that's when he's having an off night. But yeah, I think that 47 of Justin Emscock, as he got around the outside and took the lead, he did start to pull away. But will that be to his detriment should we get a long green flag run? We're getting ready to go back green. 147, 43, 68, 12, and the 51 of Andrew Wisdom. First time I've said his name tonight. Pace car's pulling off, Eliza. Here we go.
Here we go. And it's going to be Brody leading us back to green once again. And we're going to wait for the green flag. It waves once again. Lap 21 of 120. Brody Fowler with a great start out here. Matthew O'Brien really on it. He is all over the back bumper. Brody Fowler. Thomas Harmon going to take over third. Justin going to move back to fourth.
Yeah, Justin, I think he got a little bit of a bad start. Might have even spun him a little bit, although I didn't see the back end really get squirrely much. I just think he wasn't prepared for when the leader was going to go. But here he is working around the outside of that Avril Lavigne number 68 for Tom Harmon. He wants the spots back.
Tom Harmon wants that spot back, and Brody Fowler wants that spot back as Matthew O'Brien took over the lead. Matthew O'Brien is our points leader. He has had such a solid run so far this season, but Brody takes it back using that high side and that momentum, and we are back into the corner once again.
Look at the 47 charge around the outside of the Kings colors of Matt O'Brien. 47 just staying in the throttle. Nope, not quite sure exactly what he's got as far as his settings, but man, that 47 is on rails, Eliza.
You know what I'm hearing, Pete, and I was not expecting this. He is shifting down in those corners. A very interesting call. Is going to keep those RPMs up and waiting to get ready to go into the next gear. So he is definitely able to keep that momentum up, being able to do that. But I haven't really seen anyone else do that, so that's an interesting take for him.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if he's like, oh, you weren't supposed to catch me doing that, Eliza. Well, caution's gonna fly.
Our second caution of the night, and is going to be Luke Allen. Let's take a look at what happened, and he had such a solid run here. Not quite sure. Oh, came down a little too low, maybe did not know that he was 3 wide, catches the 79, and man, something as easy as that. So unfortunate to see, but these guys, great run, but it's simple stuff like that. You have these racing that is just so incredibly close. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, great job by most every ball. 7 just tried to get back up and keep going as a car that was running way in the back kind of caught him as the 7 was trying to grab a gear and get back. I really do feel bad for the 12. He has had a couple of very unfortunate couple of weeks. He just cannot catch a break, Eliza.
He really has. And Stratus, I see you out there. Thank you so much for the sub. I hope you're doing well. 37 months. How about that? Thank you. I hope you're doing well. But man, Matt Burgess, yeah, so unfortunate to see. And I feel like he would be doing so well. We've seen him up front and somehow just gets involved in these cautions through no fault of his own. So I can imagine he's got to be pretty frustrated at this point.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's got that number 12 A&W machine. It seems like sometimes he'll linger around mid-pack and then he'll try to charge forward as the race goes on, but he's got to keep the car clean at the same token. But hey, when somebody else has an issue and you're just happen to be, unfortunately Johnny on the spot, he's got to try to move up a little bit earlier. But again, Eliza, it all starts with qualifying.
Absolutely. It's so true. Qualifying is just so incredibly important. I mean, you don't want to be out midfield in the hornet's nest. It's where all the trouble happens. You have every guy going for position early on, and it can just cause some trouble. And then you have those guys that choose not to qualify. So they're going to start in the back, wanting to make their way up to the front. So aggression can pick up, patience can go down, and you have things like this.
Yeah, I mean, you got to ask yourself, when do you just ride? When do you pull the trigger to move? I mean, yeah, granted, this isn't like a super speedway. It's not a Daytona, Talladega, or the new Atlanta, to where you can kind of work your way through the pack at will, but you also can't allow yourself to fall back too far. That's what I was kind of talking about with the pace that the 47 was putting down earlier. You don't want to burn your stuff up. You don't need to be a full lap ahead of everybody else. You just need to get into race management mode, preserve what you got, and when the when your competition comes up behind you, you lay down that throttle pedal just a little more.
Absolutely, I agree. You can see some of these guys coming off a pit road. But it looks like Brody Falaker will lead us off once again. Justin is going to be in second. Matt O'Brien is going to be in third. Thomas Harmon in fourth. And that Avril machine, I see you guys mentioning that out in chat. I don't know that he will ever change that. He's always got her in tow on his car. So love the scheme. We got Andrew Wisdom. He is going to round out the top 5. And Pete, take a look at who's in 6th. And I don't even think that we've mentioned him tonight.
Yeah, how about Jimmy Cocker in that Toyota Camry machine? Right now sitting P6, as you just said, up 7 spots. So good night for Jimmy Cocker in that Virginia Tech Hokies Toyota. Great night for him so far. Riley Rosenbrook up 10 in the 86 Ford right behind him. Then the 79 of Cody Kalinke, he's up 6. Up 20 spots, though, is the 18 of Hunter Johnson, actually a real-life driver in his home area truck series. And then to round out the top 10, I'm sorry, that is rounding out the top 10 again, up 20 spots for him. And then Jordan McGraw in P10 up 1.
Yeah, Francis Hamilton, who is fastest in practice, he is up 16 spots from where he qualified. He's sitting P11 with PJ O'Leary. He's sitting P12th. And then Andrew Stanford is going to be 13th with Dylan C. Robb. He's going to be 14th. And John Honeycutt down 6 spots. We saw him up earlier in the top 5. He is sitting currently P15.
Yeah, I think John Honeycutt felt a little good about his car, so he figured, you know what, I'm going to stay out, lead a lap, get that point. Again, there is no chase mode, no playoffs, no nothing like that this season, so that point is very, very important. Behind Honeycutt and Robb, you got Jarrett Cardwell in the 2. He's up 14 spots, sitting P16. P17 up 7 is going to be the 13 of Kyle Taub. The 333 of Jeff Byers, he's up 2, sitting P18. Rivers Jones and Matt Burgess both down multiple spots in the 12 and the 91, respectively.
Yeah. It's going to be close as these guys get ready to go back to racing. But man, oh man, one thing's consistent is that Brody, Justin, Matt, Thomas, all these guys have been up in the front as we get ready to go back to green once again. But Brody, he's had some great starts here, and I think this time will be no different as we go to 29 of 120. And here we go once again. Justin really on it on that high side. A great start for him. Matt O'Brien going to take the bottom as Brody's going to come down there with him into the corner.
Yeah, Brody going to come on down, dump all kinds of dirty air on the hood of that 43 from Matt O'Brien. 47 right now, up on the high side. He's got to the door. He's got to the right front. He is side by side with the 1 going into turns 3 and 4. 47 back on that loud pedal first. Can he carry the momentum off, or will the 1 take this lap?
Take a look at that battle side by side all the way through, and this is for the lead. I don't think either one of them has nudged ahead of the other until now. We just saw a little bit of a blip, but man, Brody with a great run. Even on that low side, but you really have to be able to use the entire track if you're down there, and that cost him a little bit of a time because that momentum is just so incredible on that high side. So Justin, he's going to lead us for now.
Yeah, Justin way up high. Maybe tag the right rear just a little bit on that wall. Look at the charge from the 11. Jimmy Cocker's on the move.
What a power move to make his way through. Almost made it 3 wide for the lead, but he is going to be tucked directly behind Brody Falaker. Going to move it up high to try to take it somewhere. He looks like he is looking wherever he can to make a move, unable to do anything just yet.
Yeah, 47 of Justin Escock. He kind of came down, left the high side open. The Virginia Tech machine for Jimmy Cocker is going to ride there. But I watched the 47 right there. He kind of pinched the 1 down on the bottom line. That way, Brody Falaker wasn't able to get back into gas, possibly for when he wanted to. 47's taking sole possession of P1.
Taking sole possession at P1, but Jimmy Cocker gearing down into the corners. So that is going to be a common theme for some of these drivers. Jimmy Cocker with a great move, almost hits the apron, and he is just all over that wheel trying to get it to go where he needs it to go, doing a fantastic job out there. But the top three, they're starting to get away, and Thomas Harmon, he's going to be behind trying to keep up with them.
Yeah, Tom Harmon, you mentioned that Avril Lavigne scheme that he's had. He's rocked that scheme season 1, season 2, and now season 3. And he never strays, whether it's a Cup car, an Xfinity car, a truck, no matter what it is, Avril's always on the hood.
Let's take a look back here, man. It is getting so incredibly sketchy. I can tell you, 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through. Take a look at the movement by some of these drivers trying to gain position. And I'm trying to find out who this is, but it looks like the 34 car was diving it down low, trying to gain what he could in positions. But man, what a train for these drivers as they are going down the backstretch, Pete.
Yeah, down the backstretch, and one guy that continues to gain. We've only talked about him once or twice because he is still new to the Shake and Bake Purple, and those are actually his car color. Jarrett Cardwell in the deuce. He was just outside the 34, now outside the 91. Cardwell is now up 13 spots, sitting P17.
And that is definitely a hornet's nest. He is on that high side. We'll see if he can't make up some positions here. But man, this is a crowded track. A lot of fun to watch. But I can tell you, we got 3 wide up here with John Honeycutt and Andrew Wisdom and Jeff Byer. So a lot of movement for these drivers. A lot of crazy racing side by side. A little bit of contact between Honeycutt and Wisdom.
Yeah, I think Andrew Wisdom was trying to pull down because the 33 was kind of moving down track as well. 50, 51, and 37. I think they may end up 3 wide. 37 decides to go ahead and check up. So the 43 now has John Honeycutt in the rear view, but that Pantera machine of Mr. Byers, now he's got the 51 and 37 in his rear view as well. 43 and the 51, a little bit of side draft there.
On board with Andrew Sanford, and you can see just what it looks like in this traffic going through the tri-oval into turn 1. Sanford gonna keep it on the high side right behind Cody Kalinka. These guys, just incredible amount of traffic. You can see the leaders up ahead. They are not too far behind, and Andrew Sanford gonna dive it down low, trying to gain a couple of more spots, but terrific driving out here.
Look at that 333. I keep getting lost in it. Jeff Byers, he's fighting right now with the 18 Napa machine of Hunter Johnson. Talk about positions gained. Hunter Johnson now up 24 spots. It seems like this guy has been on charge since Daytona.
Yeah, he is doing an incredible job making improvements every week. It's so fun to watch the improvements from these drivers. We talk about it all the time, but let's go back up to the front real quick. Jimmy Cocker, I mean, we've seen him grow in this league a ton. Justin, new to this league, but not new to iRacing. I know that he's got a ton of talent, and he is out here leading once again, looking so strong. Brody Falliker, I've talked about it. Pete has talked about it. He just looks so incredibly strong season after season with improvements, and we're going to get him in the winner's circle this season. I guarantee it, Pete.
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind. Brody Falliker will be there. He's just too good of a driver, too consistent. Again, I want to say that this race last season was where he had 3 races in a row where he finished in the bridesmaid position, and right after that is where he clocked his win, and he felt great. And I told him during post-race interview I had him picked to win at least 2 races last year, and he didn't disappoint. Great job by him as we got caution number 3 on track.
Caution number 3, we'll find out where it is, but I can tell you that man, this racing is just so incredibly crazy. Looks like the Target car and a couple other cars gonna be involved as they're trying to see if they can't miss it. Let's go back and see if we can't find it once again.
Yeah, a couple cars included in this one. One is going to be the 23 Jose Ruiz, Luke Allen in the 7, Kyle Taub, and more. Just nowhere to go.
Yeah, just close quarters out here. The 13 unfortunately got spun around. And talking to him earlier, he was a little frustrated, saying, I hope it's not as breaking as it was at Dover, where you just get ran over. And this time it's just close, incredibly close quarters. And that's what happens at tracks like this, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're on that high side and you're way back in the throttle and you're going for it all, you can't see around these bends unless you've got a spotter, screaming caution, caution, caution in your ears, where you start wowing it up. But everybody coming on back down pit road for their second or possibly third set of tires.
Here we have him down there. Man, a lot of takers for pit lane here on the WoodyxCA cam. Be sure to give him a follow. I'll put that link out there. He does a great job streaming, so go give him a follow. Show him some love when he streams. So once you check out the link, I'm back on over. But man,
right, so
man, what a race, Pete. This is crazy.
Absolutely. Swapping positions and new leaders, and the strong staying strong, but are they burning their stuff up? We'll have to see. But how about new leader, a Dartmobile? Talk about the 92 Wawa car for Kevin Dalator, putting his machine up in the lead.
How about that? Let's see if we can't get him in the booth here and bring him up. Kevin, it's Eliza in the booth. How you doing?
Hi.
All right. Well, I see you out here in the lead. Are you going to keep that, or are you planning on going down pit road once again?
It's not April Fool's Day. Let's be honest with ourselves here. I am not a leader. I am such a follower.
Hey, you know what? We'll see it happen. I promise.
I'm getting a lap lead. That's all I'm doing.
Fair enough. Those points, they matter here. We've talked about it this season. We have it all the way through the season. No breaks, no resets. So I don't blame you. Get everything that you can, but you're looking solid out here tonight. So I wish you a ton of luck.
Sounds good. 0x. I'm going to jinx myself, but here we go.
All right. Remind me which team channel you were in.
Dart.
Okay. That's what I thought, just to be sure. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
All right. You heard it from Kevin there. We've seen that a couple of times where guys just want to stay out. They want to get that extra bonus point. It's just so incredibly important at this point of the season. Every point matters. There's no reset, so it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, it really is, and this is where the guys are willing to take a little extra chance. I mentioned a little bit ago that this race used to be called something for I think it's like the Hollywood Casinos, 250 or 300 or whatever it is, as the points are now up on screen. Matt O'Brien leading over Tom Harmon, Andrew Wisdom, Brody Falker, and Jimmy Cocker, the top five. And Eliza, those seem to be names that we talk about week in and week out.
It's just so incredibly consistent. You have Brody Falker, Jimmy Cocker, James Holzer, Tom Flitcroft out there in 7th with 199, Jose Ruiz in 8th, Matt Burgess in 9th, and Jacob Lockley are going to round out the top 10. So every point matters. These guys are incredibly close. Positions can change, but O'Brien has consistently led in the point standing. So he's got a great chance at a championship if he remains solid out here.
Yeah, absolutely. If he stays as consistent as he's been, there's no reason that 43 cannot take a championship. And Eliza, that would be 3 different people claiming a championship in the 3 different seasons that we've had. Of course, James Holzer won in season 1. Andrew Wisdom last year. We'll have to see if Matt O'Brien can claim it for himself this year. But there's a lot of racing and a lot of tough competition to go.
A lot of tough competition, and James Holzer, who is not here tonight, is definitely going to take a hit in the points. So he's not up in the point standings like he has been in seasons past. But we're on our 3rd caution, and we've had several different winners. Honeycutt was another new winner last week. I'm kind of curious if we can get another new winner here tonight.
Well, if the 1, the 47, the 11, or maybe this 333 will come up as a surprise as the pace car is about to make that hard left towards pit road. We're going back green. 1's on the high side, 47 down low. Let's pull the plug. Let's go.
Here we go, back to green. A wild start there. Jeff Byers did not get a great start, but that high side, they seem to be moving along with Justin on that low side. That's going to allow him to make a move wherever he needs to go on the track right now. But Jimmy Cocker is going to be side by side with Jeff Byers as that 18 of Hunter Johnson. He's going to move up on that high side.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson on the prowl is going to try to pull way low. The 11 of Jimmy Cocker goes on down. Make sure the 18 won't have the advantage, but the 18 staying hard on the throttle, actually gaining on him through the center of the corner and off right up the tailpipe of that 11.
Yeah, let's go back in the field. I tell you, these starts are absolutely intense. And shenanigans can happen back here, but man, they are looking really solid. You see, Jarrett Cardwell seems to really like that high side. Every time we're on board with him, he is definitely using that high side all he can. But a lot of times I'm seeing him 2 and 3 wide, so I don't know how much of a choice he's got, Pete.
Well, I'll tell you what, he might be 3 wide here. Nope. Looks like that target machine right behind him chose not to go high. Either that or the deuce moved on up. He's got the 86 behind, but I tell you what, if you're going to go to school on this track, no, very few better than the 43 that was just in front of him. But Jarrett said, nah, let's go.
See Tom Flitcroft. We have his parents out in chat. What's up? How are you guys? I hope you're doing well. But Tom Flitcroft back here in 16th, minus 4 spots from where he started. You can see him taking it easy. He's like, I want to stay out of trouble. Let's see if I can sneak my way around, but it's a tough place to be. It's not mid-pack is where I think that you want to be. You got to try to find out how to get through there with as little damage and carnage as possible.
Absolutely, Riley Rosenbrook right ahead of him. Riley was just way down low. The 8 was kind of in that middle line, and Rivers Jones in the 91 was up high. So the 8 had all kinds of clean air on the nose of his Camaro. So I think he was doing a little bit of searching. But Tom, I have no doubt in my mind, as the night rolls on, he'll find his way closer and closer to the front.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen up towards the front, so no doubt he'll be up there once again. We're on board with Rivers Jones. He's got Matthew O'Brien directly in front of him. And if you recall, Matthew O'Brien is in the points lead. So he's currently sitting P13 with Rivers Jones in 14th. But I want to take a look at their driving. We have, seems like, Pete, the guys out front, they're really taking advantage of short shifting and going down to the 4th gear and then making it back up. And now we see guys in mid-pack that are staying in 5th all the way through.
Yeah, I almost wonder if maybe they don't have a choice, since they've got to drive so hard to make up a little bit of time, but also they're fighting this traffic and everything else that ends up on their hood. I mean, they're watching people come and go. They're watching the different lines that they're choosing. They've got to make decisions on which line they've got to or which line are going to help them progress through the field as well. It's really, really tough behind the leader, essentially, because everything else is dirty air.
You can see a lot of happenings out here, and this is going to be for P5. You can see Andrew Sanford sitting P5 currently, with Hunter Johnson going to dive it down low. And we have a string of 3 cars directly behind Jordan McGraw. That's going to be Jimmy Cocker, Tom Harmon, and PJ O'Leary. But man, I saw someone using the brakes really hard, and you saw a lot of smoke going on out there, so I'm kind of curious who that was. We'll have to keep an eye on it. And with Hunter Johnson, the way he uses those brakes and can be very aggressive, I'm kind of curious if it was him, Pete.
It's absolutely possible. Something I'm watching this deuce, this Twitch machine for Jarrett Cardwell. The guy is just continuing on the high side. But Eliza, I gotta wonder, and I hope he's not just completely destroying that right front, because he has continued to make up a ton of positions. Now up 21. The only guy out there that's made more positions or gained more positions than him is Hunter Johnson in P6. But something tells me it's not going to be long before the deuce is right there with the 18.
I agree. I just saw him 3 wide, and he was using that high side to his advantage, and he is quickly gaining those positions, as you say. So we'll see if he can't make his way up there, but take a look at our leader. A second gap between him and second, which is Jeff Byers in second. Cody Kalinka is going to be third. And we're going to have Brody Falliker in fourth. Rounding out the top 5 is going to be Andrew Sanford.
Brody Falliker, as often as he's inside the top 5, I think he knows a little something as what's going on. I think he's just kind of biding his time, not wearing out his tires. He's going to be there at the end. He feels confident. He's very skilled in his racecraft. Justin Aniscock, newcomer to the Shake and Bake iRacing community. He is all over the place, but I tell you what, that Old Spice machine seems like it's glued to the ground.
Oh, I agree. I mean, they're looking solid out there, but man, that gap for Justin just, I feel like it just keeps increasing. He's just looking so strong out there. Hopefully he's saving his machine for much later as these guys are still battling, and this is going to be for P4, it looks like, between Andrew Sanford and Brody Falliker. Looking very, very strong, but Andrew Sanford is going to hold him off.
Yeah, Andrew Sanford able to hold him off, and he's going to be able to, he's up 18 spots in his own right. Cody Kalinka in P3 right now, he's up 11. Jeff Byers up 18. Eliza, we've got 3 guys inside the top 3. Any one of those would be a new winner as we getting closer and closer to halfway. Working lap 57 of 120. These laps are just clicking off.
Yeah, they sure are. And all these drivers are on the same tire wear. 15 lap old tires, so relatively fresh out there. You can run these, I know you were talking about it earlier, around 60 laps, so they still have quite a few laps to go on this. But how about Cody Kalinka in second? I mean, a couple of new faces out here in the front, and it's great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned, I think it was last season, where Cody, it just seemed like he was in everybody's mess. He could not get a break he couldn't get a break at all. It was just very, very tough for Cody. He was rocking the nationwide scheme at the time. Absolutely loved the car. Appreciate Cody going all the way back to Xbox days is how far we go back, and I'd love to see this guy do very, very well.
You can see this gap between the two, and this is between first and second, and it's almost to a second and a half, so it keeps on increasing. Whatever Justin has here, I mean, he just knows this track and where his car feels great at. It is working for him quite a bit. He's looking really solid out here as we are on the backstretch.
It's interesting. I talked to the 47 of Justin Aniscock just before we came on air. I said, "Hey, Justin, what do you got for Kansas?" He loves the term dog water. He said, "Pete, I am dog water here. I got nothing for it." Look at him now. I think he was playing me, Eliza. What do you think?
I think he was. I mean, he told me P15, is right around where I'm expecting. And I said, you know what? I think otherwise. I think you'll do great. And he sure is. Lap 60 of 120. We're hitting a halfway mark right here for Kansas Speedway. Cody Kalinka looking solid. We have a couple of new faces, as I say, up here. Jordan McGraw, he's going to be in 7th with Tom Harmon in 8th. And Jarrett Cardwell still up 21 spots. Meanwhile, Hunter Johnson, who is P5, he's up 24 spots. So a couple of these guys enjoy starting in the back. They like the challenge of it. If he started in the back and did not qualify, he's having a great run here for that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of guys solidly in the green when talking about moves that are made on the positive side, making up positions as the race has gone on. I mean, the 18, he's up 24. Jared Cardwell, we talked about him just a moment ago. He's up 21. Andrew Sanford, he's up 20. Jeff Byers up 16. So there's a lot of big movers, but there's also some guys that have fallen back a bit too. Luke Allen in the 7, he's down 11. Matt Burgess in that 12 through no fault of his own after a wreck. He's down 14. Joe Berg back in the Pepsi machine in the 93, down 15 spots, sitting 23rd. Joe Turley in the 97, he's down 10 in P25. So there's a lot of guys that have gained positions, but there's also some guys that maybe got caught up in a wreck, sitting a little bit further in the back.
I agree. I mean, it's just all about where you are in the race and what happened, and some of them are back there, and while others moved up. But man, speaking of movement, How about Jeff Byers, Cody Kalinka, and Andrew Sanford? They were battling it out. Andrew Sanford goes up to P2, almost 2 seconds behind Justin. So very interesting. Cody Kalinka going to be third, and we're on board with Jeff Byers, who's sitting P4. With these guys starting to spread out front.
Yeah, this is what you were talking about earlier. And usually it's the green flag pit stops that where we start to see the separation, where the leader, depending on how aggressive they are, getting on and off pit road, as well as not speeding, making sure they hit their box just right, and then when they're leaving pit road, not passing the blend line, getting a great overall pit stop, both in, out, and back on track again. We'll have to see if we get that green flag pit stop. Last time everybody was on pit road, you mentioned it a little bit ago, was lap 41, working lap 65 right now, so 24 laps green so far. And how about that, Andrew Sanford? P2 up 20. Great job for driver 37.
Yeah, Andrew Sanford doing a fantastic job. Meanwhile, Andrew Wisdom moving through the field, gained several positions in just one corner. Quite the battle going on here, starting with Matthew O'Brien. Andrew Wisdom going to be second, and this is the battle for P8. We see some drivers hitting that wall. I saw Jarrett Cardwell get extremely close a couple of times. I'm not sure if he made contact right there, but man, the battling here is really, really intense. A ton of fun to watch.
Absolutely. We actually just watched the 24, I want to say it was. It was Matt O'Brien, Andrew Wisdom, and PJ O'Leary all kind of tagged the wall coming off of the turn at the same exact time, and they just get closer and closer. Talking about the 8 there. Yep, you called it. The 8 of Tom Flitcroft battling with the deuce.
Yeah, how about these guys? Tom trying to make up any position that he can, just nowhere to go. A little nudge back and forth between him and Jordan McGraw, Tom Flitcroft, and you got Jimmy Cocker in there in the mix, Riley Rosenbrook. This is all for around P12. So mid-pack, these guys are getting wild out here, and it's lap 68 of 120. Man, a car hard into the wall. I think that is going to be Rivers Jones as he is in that 91 machine.
Yeah, I think the 8 of Tom Flitcroft also just tagged the wall, sitting back there P16, down 4 from where the race started. Back up front, it looks like Justin Anscock and Andrew Sanford have kind of reached that gap, and just as I say that, Justin Anscock puts another 10th or so on Andrew Sanford, but it seems like those guys are kind of running laps very consistent to each other. Nobody's pulling away anymore. Brody Falliker, though, I'm sure he'd love to get on up there and grab a little bit more track position, starting to fall back just a tad.
Yeah, Cody Kalinka fell back to P7, but Andrew Sanford is starting to really catch Justin. I mean, we saw almost a 2-second gap, and now is going down to almost a 1.5 seconds. So if Andrew Sanford can keep that up, we might see him catch up to Justin. But as soon as I say that, Pete, Justin is starting to increase that gap. So it's extremely close out here.
Yeah, just as you said that, Andrew Sanford actually tagged the wall, and it seems like it was with the full right side of his number 37 Toyota Camry. So Justin Anscock able to extend his lead to a 1.8 over Andrew, and then Brody Falliker right up the tailpipe of that 37. So Team FIWB teammates run second and third.
Yeah, they look strong out there. Thomas Harmon is out there in P5, and he's got Jeff Byers directly behind him. But let's take a look. We've talked about this, and we are going 3 wide between Jarrett Cardwell, Riley Rosenbrook, and Jimmy Cocker. Very, very tight battle here. And this is the first time I've really seen Jarrett out here on that bottom, hugging that line. And he did a great job, and is going to allow him to break out a little ahead of PJ O'Leary, Riley, and Jimmy Cocker. And that is going to be for P10.
Yeah, how about the deuce of Jarrett Cardwell? I'm glad to see him actually here on Monday nights as the 24 almost loses it and tags the back end of the 2. The 2 must have had a little bit of a Jedi sense because he pulled low. He had no idea where the 24 was. But Jarrett Cardwell, he started off Talladega finishing P4. Last week at Dover, his second race, finishes inside the top 10. here he is now. So again, sitting P10. Jarrett, he's been a great fit for for the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series, and I'm glad he's here.
Absolutely. Tom Flitcroft, we're seeing him out there, P17. You can see him kind of trying to stay out of trouble. I mean, off the throttle quite a bit, trying to let these guys go on by. He almost lost it as there was chaos ahead of him, was able to hold on to it, and you can see him 2 by 2 all the way through, and that's going to be Jose and Matt Burgess directly in front of him.
Yeah, Jose's going to be able to grab that spot for P17, getting by Matt Burgess. Ahead of him, he's got Luke Allen and Jordan McGraw. But both of those guys kind of side by side. Just as I say that, Jordan McGraw is going to go ahead and pull low. The 24 PJ O'Leary again tags the wall off of 4, losing all kinds of momentum and spots.
Battles all throughout the field, but take a look at P2, Brody Falliker. He is out here in second. Andrew Sanford is going to fall to P3 with Thomas Harmon, who is going to battle for position, and that will be for third. We'll see if he can't make it happen, but man, extremely tight. That gap has fallen to just under a second.
Yeah, Brody Falliker absolutely running down the 47 machine for Justin Anasigok. Brody Falliker, I don't think it's going to be long before he catches the draft and he can pull himself on up to the 47. Tom Harmon, unfortunately, a little bit further back, but if he's been saving this entire time, we've got that long green flag run, Eliza. This could be where this separates those that are able to get on and off pit road and those that struggle.
Let's go ahead and bring up the track map here. I want to show you the separation of these drivers. We have just a ton of drivers going into turn 1 and 2, and then a little bit of a separation. And then you have these drivers from 21st on. So we do have a couple of packs out here. It looks like 10th is going to be in that second pack, and we've seen these guys. These are the ones that are battling it out quite a bit. You got Jimmy Cochran 11th, Jarrett Cardwell in 12th, and then Jordan McGraw, who is currently battling it out with Rivers Jones. These guys are 2 by 2. We have Luke Allen in the 7 and Jose Ruiz. He's going to be in that 23 machine.
Yeah, Jose Ruiz, he's got, like you just said, Rivers Jones losing the spot down low. 23 is going to use a little bit of the momentum, and here comes the 12 again of Matt Burgess in that A&W car. 91 falling back. You look at that target dog's ears. He's flat to the wind. He's got to be loving what he's seeing.
All right, I see a John Honeycutt here. John, what has happened to you out there? It's Eliza in the booth.
Hey, so I don't know, it's, technical issues or something, some kind of update must have messed up my computer, but got back into the race. I was only a lap down, and but the car just would not kick over in the pits, so the car is literally just stuck in the pits.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, so it's not doing anything. But these guys are getting really tight. Everybody's struggling with exits right now, so from just hearing everybody right now. It's really, really tight, and everybody's kind of slipping around and putting a lot of wheel into it, and so they're either slipping up in the rear or they're getting really tight off the corners and they're banging into the wall. We've seen O'Brien already do it just now, and Wisdom and everybody else.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Conditions are extremely tight out here. We've talked about these guys going up to the wall. Justin is going to fall back to P3. Meanwhile, Brody Falliker has once again taken over that. And Justin, I don't know if he used his tires up, but he's out on pit road, Pete.
Yeah, he's falling back through. The first car to go ahead and hit pit road, mentioned earlier, the last time these guys were all on pit road is lap 41. Must have just completely destroyed that right front, or maybe he's going to try a little bit of a quick pit. We'll have to see. But Eliza, for a second there, it was Brody Falliker, Tom Harmon, and the 47 of Justin Anasigok as he goes ahead and gets to his pit stall. But they were actually running 1, 2, 3. Eliza, it was the same exact way they qualified, showing that their queue time was no fluke at all.
Yeah, you are not kidding. Hunter Johnson, though, he's going to take over that third spot, up 26 spots from where he started. But we have a couple of more takers. Philip Bridgman going to be on pit road. John Honeycutt, unfortunately, you heard what happened with him. But Brody Falliker, I mean, he's just looking incredibly strong out there. Lap 81 of 120. There's still some racing, Pete, but there's not a lot. And Brody getting a little close to that wall. Yeah, testing his limits right there. These guys really, really getting tight.
What's the old commercial song? Get a little closer. Don't be... Okay, I won't do that. I don't want everybody that's out there in the land of Twitch to leave us. But yeah, the one getting very, very close to that outside wall. Now, Eliza, you gotta wonder, or you might even have to ask yourself, the 68, the 51, the 18, the 37, those guys that are in the top 5, they saw the speed that the 47 had. Right now, he's out there on 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. He's full of fuel, working lap 83 right now. He could go the distance, or so we think anyway, depending on just how bad the tires are. When do you come on down pit road, knowing that he's at least a second and a half to 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field right now?
You know, it's at the point where the race is coming down to the wire here. You know that you can make it on fuel, on tires, on everything. So we're starting to see a lot of drivers take it down pit lane. That's what I'm doing. As soon as I see the leader doing that, I'm coming in. I don't want to stay out too long and give him that huge advantage. Also, you want to kind of question, did he come in too soon? It's just a fine line. But once I see the leader coming in, I'm checking my stats, checking my strategy, and making sure that I'm going to come out on top. But Marjan, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well out there. What a race tonight. Strategy is really going to come into play here as our leaders are still out, but we're seeing midfield. These drivers starting to go in, Pete.
Yeah, seeing more and more crawl across the bottom of the screen for pit road. And it looks like right now, everybody from about P16 on back is 1 lap down, starting with the 47 of Justin Aniscock. So knowing what kind of speed he's got, if I'm the leaders, if I'm Brody or Tom Harmon or Andrew Wisdom or these guys, I'm not going to stay out too long. Also see the 31 on there on pit road as well. I'm not going to stay out too much longer. You're having to lift a little bit more. You're not going to be as fast. You're not going to be able to get back in the throttle right when you want to, or right in the same position as you used to be able to. Right now, the 47, he's got the speed. How much time do you give up?
Yeah, Thomas Harmon, one of our lead drivers, went into pit road. You see Andrew Sanford, Jimmy Cocker, Matt Burgess. But our leaders currently, Brody Falliker, Andrew Wisdom is going to move up some spots from these drivers pitting. These guys are still out here. Hunter Johnson, he is P3. He is going to stay out, but we're still getting these drivers trickling in.
Yep, Brody Falliker, he's pulling down pit road right now in his team FIWB #1 Camaro. Again, guys, very, very fast. Jose Ruiz is going to move on up to the P5 spot right along with his team FTR teammate, Jordan McGraw.
We see Tom Flitcroft behind him sitting P7. Meanwhile, you have those 2 positions of Brody in pit road and also Jarrett Cardwell. Meanwhile, Joe Berg going to move up a spot along with Jacob Locklear. That's going to be for P9. Justin, who went in first, he's going to be currently sitting P12.
Yeah, P12, when everybody that's in front of him has to go on down pit road. Jordan McGraw just hit the stripe to take his number 34, usually his Sega machine. I didn't catch the sponsor this evening, but everybody that's in front of Justin has to go down pit road. So it's going to be interesting to see what the gap is going to be between himself and if it's Matt O'Brien or Brody Falliker, whoever's sitting P2, what the gap was. Before he went down pit road, it was just about a second. Brody Falliker had started to run him back down after he took P2 back. Let's see what the gap is when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how it will come out, but Justin going to be up 2 spots from where Brody currently is. So these lap times right now, 31.9, and Brody was running a 32.9. Now that Brody is going to be out a couple laps, we'll see how that gap closes, but he is going side by side with Thomas Harmon, which is not going to help his case here. These guys battling it out, and this is going to be for P11.
Yeah, that 90 or 89, excuse me, 86 rather, is going to go ahead and move high, get out of the way. One's down low, 68 up high. 68 should have the momentum and clear Brody off of the corner, but the one getting back in the throttle, maybe a little bit of a side draft down the backstretch. You just see the one being able to pull himself back up side by side, leaning on each other a little bit in 3 and 4. 68 gets a little loose. One's going to take the spot.
Yeah, we got some contact there, but these guys are still off and running. Brody gonna take out in front of him with Thomas Harmon behind, but man, what a battle. Meanwhile, back in the lead, it's gonna be Hunter Johnson with Jeff Byers in second, Jose Ruiz in third, Tom Flitcroft, he's gonna be in the top 5 with Riley Rosenbrook, who's on pit lane. He was in 5th, but Joe Berg is gonna take that spot over as Riley heads to pit road.
Yeah, Riley on pit road now. Justin Anscock, that's going to put him up to P6 and climbing. That gap that he's got is going to start to disappear as everybody else is going to come on down pit road. The from 1st through 4th was on pit road lap 41. Joe Berg was in on lap 42. Justin Anscock came down on lap 79. And oh, by the way, Brody Falliker in that one Camaro just posted the fastest time of the race so far. He went Shake and Bake Purple with 31.5.
All right, let's see if he can bring it home. Justin, though, he's got a nice little lead out there. He had some great times. We have Jeff Byers. He is going to go onto pit lane, currently sitting P3 and will be dropping as he is on pit lane. Hunter Johnson, he is still out there, so we'll see when he is going to make his way in, but it might be a while. I'm kind of curious how long they will stay out, and more curious about Justin and Brody. Where will they come out in this, and what will they be battling as they try to make their way back up to the lead?
I just mentioned Hunter Johnson was last on pit road lap 41. Right now working lap 94, so 53 laps under his belt. We mentioned that these guys can go 60 to 65 laps, so he's got to be thinking that he's going to have to come on down sometime soon as the 79 of Cody Kalinga comes on by, and Cody's going to come across the nose, spinning out. Caution's going to fly. This is going to hurt some, but it's definitely going to help Justin and a couple others who are going to be able to take the wave around.
Wow, was not expecting that one. Cody Kalinka was out there in around 8th to 9th place, so man, that is going to gather these guys up, change it a little bit. I was hoping to see it go green. I wanted to see what these guys could do strategy-wise and how it would play out, but man, unfortunate for Cody and Hunter Johnson. But Hunter Johnson might be saved by this caution here, get to go in.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson, Jose Ruiz, Tom Flitcroft, and Joe Berg, all the guys that are absolutely going to get a huge break with all of this. Justin Anscock was in on lap 79. I think he's got to come in with everybody else. But you know what? He was able to gain a whole lot of time by going in early with those fresh Eagle Feel Goods. He's going to be right back inside the top 5, down 2 spots from where he qualified. But what a race so far. Working lap 95 of 120, getting closer to 25 to go.
Absolutely insane. All right, so we have Justin in 5th. We have Brody in 7th. Are you going in, Pete? Are you going to take fresh tires? What is your strategy?
Yeah, you've got to. You've already been out there. If I'm Justin Anscock in the Old Spice 47, yep, you've got to come on down pit road. It's just too much time to give up.
Brody Falliker, he does the opposite. He decides to stay out. So he's on those fresher tires than Justin. He does not have to worry about it as much. And he is going to go out to the lead as he stays out.
I don't know if it's going to come back to bite him. I mean, it's only a few laps. Like you said, he was in on lap 86. It's less than 10 laps. But 10 laps can be the difference, Eliza. If you think back to when we were looking at the lap times of a couple of different drivers, they were in that 31-second bracket for only about 12 laps before they switched on over to 32-second laps, and then they stretched on for 20, 30 laps before they finally hit the 33s. So Brody Falker's been out there about the amount of time before he start to hit 32-second laps. Meanwhile, everybody that just came on down pit road, they're going to be flat flying.
Yeah, and Justin, he's going to come out 5th, so he's actually in a pretty good spot. He does not have a lot of drivers to go through in order to make his way up to Brody. Tough call, and his lap times were very impressive. I mean, he had almost a 2-second lead over the rest of the field, so I'm kind of curious how this plays out for Brody.
Yeah, I tell you, this WoodyxCA race here from Kansas has been a lot of fun. All different kinds of strategies, many different leaders, all kinds of different lines. And this wreck with 25, now 24 to go, it's going to bring everybody racked and stacked all back together. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. It's too late for popcorn. It's too late for a soda. You are glued to your seats for the rest of this. You're not going to want to miss it. I promise.
Oh, this is crazy. Let me know what you think in chat. Who is going to bring it home? Brody Falker? Will it be Justin, who's sitting P4 currently, around P4, P5? Or is it going to be somebody else? But we got that WoodyxCA cam on. Be sure to go click on that link. Give him a follow. He does NASCAR Heat, Warzone, you name it. He's a great streamer, great friend. Known him for years. So show him some love and make sure to come back over because you are not going to want to miss these final laps.
All right, Eliza. So the one's going to restart on the bottom. Tom Harmon, 2 is outside. This will be the first time that Tom Harmon has been this far forward in the field. Jose Ruiz in that U.S. Air Force Xfinity A10 Tiger sitting P3. Justin Aniscock P4. Matt O'Brien, our current points leader, sitting P5, right where he started. How about that? First and second in the positions they qualified in, right along with Matt O'Brien, qualified P5 and currently running P5 with just Jose Ruiz in that mix as well, up 19 spots in his own right.
Yeah, a lot of movers tonight. That's what I love about these types of races. I mean, you'll have some drivers that say, you know, I hate this type of racing. It's draft dependent or the dirty air. I love it. I love being that close contact. I love being around a lot of cars racing to see who can do the best at it. I mean, to me, that's just fun.
So this restart with the lights top the pace car out, the one needs the restart of his race. The 68, he's got to time it just right. The 23, Jose Ruiz, he needs to be all over the back bumper of that one, the same as the 47. The 47 had the 68 pushing him earlier. Will the favor be returned? We're about to find out in the WoodyxCA Geico restart zone. Let's go.
Restart right here. Let's see what they can do. And what a restart. I mean, these guys were spread out everywhere. Very interesting, but Brody Falker, he's got to get away. He's got to keep these guys behind him and put as many cars between him and Justin that he can, because these two drivers are extremely fast and Justin spins out. I don't know what happened. Let's see if we can find out, but a little bit of contact with the wall. No caution yet. That is going to be devastating for his vie for the win out here.
Yeah, down low, and unfortunately because it was off the track, iRacing felt like he wasn't a threat to the rest of the field, so I had to get it spinned around, grab a gear, and get back up, get going. Very detrimental to the 47 chances at winning this race, and he absolutely had a chance, Eliza.
Not a way that you...
net code.
Yeah, that was some netco between Tom Flitcroft and Justin, and just so unfortunate to see. I mean, this very well could have been a win for him tonight, as we see some drivers getting extremely close to the wall. In fact, making some contact, and we see these drivers. This is where the aggression picks up. Joe Berg, you saw him get sideways there. He's trying to make his way back on the track. Very slick surface on that bottom. You can see him trying to keep it underneath him, but man, oh man, aggression coming back up here. Chaos is getting ready to happen.
Absolutely, and Andrew Wisdom just went ahead and showed that he's hard on the throttle, posting the fastest lap of this evening. Shake and Make Purple, 31.43 for Andrew Wisdom on what, lap 101 or 106 rather. and up to P4, up 6 spots. Andrew Wisdom, last season's champion. It's about the time where he usually starts going to the front, and he's got Andrew Sanford right in tow.
Yeah, this man is hungry, sitting P4. You can see the drivers out in front of him. Quite the battle that we have going on out here for the lead. And meanwhile, behind him, he's got Andrew Sanford that was below him. And we have Jose Ruiz, Jimmy Cocker behind. That is a lot of hungry cars. You can't afford to lose any positions, especially with 18 laps to go.
Absolutely. Tom Flickcroft able to bounce back from where he was earlier. I believe when Tom's parents showed up in chat, he was right around 21st. Right now, sitting P8, up 4 spots. He's got PJ O'Leary behind, Jimmy Cocker ahead. Right ahead of Jimmy Cocker is going to be Jose Ruiz. That U.S. Air Force scheme looking very, very fast. Let's see if we can make up at least a couple more and make it back to the podium.
Let's go up here to the lead. It looks like we are 3 wide for the lead heading into the corner. Matthew O'Brien in the center, going to fall back. Brody Fowler going to take that lead. Thomas Harmon in second. These guys absolutely insane. You'd think it was a final lap, Pete.
Yeah, that one, when he lost the high line, he's going to lose the lead. There's no way that he can get back in the throttle and open up the wheel in order to not scrub speed. 3 wide across the line.
3 wide across the line heading into turn 1. Brody Fowler with the nose out. Meanwhile, these guys are 3 wide once again. That high side going to have a huge momentum. Matthew O'Brien in a tough spot. Contact between the drivers of O'Brien and Thomas Harmon, but they hold on to it. This is insane.
Absolutely. That little bit of a checkup that was caused between that contact allowed the 51 of Andrew Wisdom to move himself up to P3, putting Brody Fowler back to P4. Tom Flickcroft now up to P5.
Let's take a look at these tires. Brody Fowler, 19
Caution's
laps
out.
for him. Harmon 20, and we do have the caution out. Jacob Locklear involved. Chuck Cody, we'll see what happened here.
Oh boy, Eliza, I am sweating.
31.
These guys are working up a storm.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, that it's getting pretty crazy out here. Let's see if we can go on board. The 31 just gets loose. Man, Jacob Locklear, I feel like he's had a lot of bad luck also, involved in some incidents. Nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, I think that 31 just got loose, couldn't catch it. And Eliza, it was the old-fashioned, trying to save these cup cars. Once it broke, he tried to overcorrect, and there's just no saving it. Went right up towards the outside wall, and Jacob Locklear was unfortunately right there.
This is where cautions can breed cautions. Be a very interesting call to see if these guys can make 14 laps left as we have in the race, or will we see a string of these cautions? Man, Thomas Harmon in the lead. He has yet to win this season, and I feel he is so incredibly consistent. We haven't really talked about him as winning these races, but I mean, he's always got a shot. I feel like every race we go to, he's just consistent, incredibly fast. He just hasn't gotten it done yet.
So how about this? A lot of the guys up front decided to come on down pit road. Matt O'Brien, Tom Flickcroft, Jose Ruiz are going to be the top 3. Jeff Byers, Rivers Jones, and Justin Anasagak is going to move him back up to P7. He's a threat again.
Yeah, great news for him. I'm really unfortunate to see him taken out earlier, but he is back up here. P7th currently he's got Andrew Wisdom that's going to come out behind him. Thomas Harmon, Brody Fowler going to be in 10th. Andrew Sanford in 11th. Jimmy Cocker in 12th. Luke Allen in 13th. Matt Burgess in 14th. And Jarrett Cardwell ran out the 15th. And Matt O'Brien will be leading us back to green.
Yeah, there is 12 laps between P7, Justin Anasagak in that Old Spice 47, and Andrew Wisdom in P8, up 2 spots from where he started the race. So that's the tire bubble, if you want to call it that. Everybody from Justin Anasagak on up to our leader Matt O'Brien in the Kings number 43 stayed out. They were last on pit road between lap 90 and 96. Everybody else just came in on lap 107. This is going to be tires could very well win this, but Justin Anscott just seemed to have something, like you mentioned before, in that gearing. Can he make this work with 10 to go?
Yeah, this race has switched up a couple of times now. This caution really shaking things up. Matt O'Brien is going to be leading us, but then you have the guys Justin and Brody Falliker who are looking to make their way back up there, but they are in 7th and 10th respectively. So can they do it cleanly? Can they stay out of trouble? You got Thomas Harmon in the mix, Andrew Wisdom. All of these guys in the top 10 are extremely fast. Any one of them can win, but I feel like the aggressiveness just picked up a ton heading into these final laps. And Sinden Rage, who is Hunter Johnson, says, I sent an apology for the wreck I caused. Sorry I ruined the race. And he said, my right front is broke. I'm out of the race. And Dark Racer, how are you? I hope you're doing well.
Very, very unfortunate for Sendin Rage. Very, very fast car, unfortunately. Now, Eliza, I'm curious if Tom Harmon wants this decision back. If he wants a mulligan and would decide to stay out versus coming on down pit road. I mean, Brody Falliker, he's fast. Andrew Sanford, he's definitely shown a lot of speed as well. Jimmy Cocker, he's no slouch in the 11. Luke Allen in P13 in that 7 with Matt Burgess in the 12. A lot of these guys very, very happy about this caution because they've got 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. This is their shot. This is their chance to charge up through the field.
Yeah, I would love to talk to every single driver right now to see how they feel about this caution, but one thing is for sure, Matt O'Brien, Thomas Flitcroft, Jose Ruiz, they may be happy now, but we'll see how nervous they are going back to green as some of these guys with fresher tires are going to be trying to make their way up here. But man, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm a little nervous for them. We'll see what happens, but things just got very, very interesting.
Absolutely. A couple of guys that are going to like what they got behind them. The 43 of Matt O'Brien and the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, up 10 spots from where he started tonight. They've got a buffer of about 5, 6 cars before the guys on the new tires can start to charge their way. The 333, he's going to be in the high side. The 23, he's going to be somewhat in the mid to high side, right along with the 86. And all these guys, they're not going to just move out of the way. They're still racing for the win also. As we go back green, will it be the final time? Eliza, 10 laps to go. Let's go.
I don't think it's going to be the final time. There's too much aggression right here, and Tom Flitcroft already squeezing down Jose Ruiz, but Matt O'Brien going to lead the field. Tom Flitcroft in 2nd, Jose in 3rd, Riley Rosenbrook in 4th, Justin in 5th, and take a look at all this movement. Justin, he is a man on a mission trying to make his way back up through the field. I won't be surprised when he takes it 3 wide.
Absolutely, and he's doing just that. He's got the 86 to his outside, has to check up just a little bit as the 68 pulls low right along with the 51. Andrew Wisdom, 68, nose to tail, shoving all the way down the apron, coming back into 1. It's going to be high entry. 37 of Andrew Sanford. Now he's all over the back end of the 47 also.
Take a look at these guys. Rivers Jones 3 wide with Jimmy Cocker and Luke Allen. Just cars bouncing off of cars bouncing off of walls. Chaos everywhere throughout the field. We have 3 wide in the back of the field. This is going to be around PJ O'Leary, and that's going to be a wreck right there. More than likely a caution will come out. Yep.
There it is.
Kevin Delator involved. We'll see what happened here, but gets up into, who is that on the high side? Man, so unfortunate. It's going to be 9.
Saw the 333 in front of these guys tag the wall. Kevin Delator in that brand new Wawa scheme gets turned around. Got a car to the inside. I believe that's going to be the 9 of Philip Bridgman, if I'm not mistaken, but
Yep.
Kevin able to grab a gear and keep it going.
So unfortunate to see, but late in the race, we knew this wasn't going to be the only caution. 7 to go. I think it's just going to be wild from here on out. Racer Wreck, you guys in chat, let me know. Who do you think's going to win? Let me know.
It's, what's the saying? Business is picking up.
Business is picking up for sure.
Yeah. Matt O'Brien, Tom Flitcroft, Riley Rosenbrook. How about Riley up there right now running P3 in his Ford Mustang, up 14 spots. Tom Harmon, the first guy on fresh tires, sitting P4. He's got to love his chances now. The 95, I'm sorry, the 23 rather, of Jose Ruiz. He was last in on lap 95. He's kind of separating Tom Harmon and Andrew Wisdom. Andrew was also in on lap 107. Justin Anisgok was in again on lap 95, and behind him a whole host of guys that came in on lap 107. I think, Eliza, right now everybody's beds are made. You got what you got.
Take a look. Nose to tail, Justin and Brody Falliker. Will they work together to make it through? Or will they battle it out trying to make it to the front? And Pete, I think they are going to battle it out. 6 laps to go as of right now. Things are going to be so extremely tight. Wild race for sure as some of these drivers get their lap back. But man, oh man, Matt O'Brien is just hoping to keep these drivers behind. He is another driver that has yet to get a win this season. If he does it, he will be one of, I think, 6 different drivers to get a win.
Well, he's the points leader, and he's been kind of pointing the rest of the field to death all season, or for the full first half of this season, kind of like what Tom Harmon did last year before we got to the end of the regular season when he won Daytona. I said, you know what, I'm going to make it into the playoffs, but it's going to be by punching my win ticket tonight. And he did just that. So I think the 43, Matt O'Brien, he's got the Kings STP colors on board. The only bad thing for him is he doesn't have quite that buffer that he had before. He wanted this thing to go green right along with the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, but I think that time has sailed.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But Tom Flitcroft looking for his 2nd win of the season. I see Tom's parents out there. I hope you're doing well. Kerblam, it has been exciting for sure. 5 laps to go, though. Yeah, I think elbows are out, and the aggression will step up even more than what we've seen. I haven't even seen crazy moves, Pete. It's just the fact that they're going 3 wide. Somebody's in the middle, maybe don't know that they are 3 wide, and just you drift up the track. It's Kansas, you're super tight, and as you're drifting up the track, it's just easy to make that contact and get the cars loose.
It really is, and these guys have really got to make sure as the laps wind down that they're holding their line. If they've got to make that block, you make that block, but you also got to remember some of these guys are coming up behind you on 12-lap fresher tires. You coming up to block may check them up for a moment, but they're going to come right back at you. I don't think they're going to be able to hold them off forever. The 43 and the 8, they're going to be driving out of the rear view.
On the back of Matthew O'Brien, you can see these guys trying to warm up those tires, getting prepared to go back to green. Is going to be wild. We have Racer Rex saying, bring on the mayhem. Snow Leopard saying mayhem. So these guys are prepared for it. Let's see if the drivers are.
Eliza, kind of sounds like your chat is feeling what we're feeling up here. And yeah, This has been a phenomenal race. These guys never disappoint week in and week out. I cannot wait to see what the second half of the season has in store. The 43 and the 8, what are they prepared to do to hold their spot? The 86, Riley Rosenbrook, I believe that he's in position right now for his best finish all season. What's he prepared to do? What's Tom Harmon and Justin Anisgok, Jose Ruiz, what are they going to do to get into a podium spot? So much yet to be seen. We're going to go back with 3 laps remaining. It's a regular 3 to go, not a green-white checker. So these guys, as Larry Mack says, pull those belts tight one more time.
Pull them tight one more time. We're getting ready to go back to green with 3 to go. And man, oh man, you can see Riley all over Matthew O'Brien just waiting for that restart. The only thing that's going through these drivers' minds is, I gotta nail that restart. I gotta get to first.
All right, let's see if the 8 can do it. He kind of got right on time with the 43, but Matt O'Brien pulling away by a couple tenths already. 8 right in front of the 86, 68-51 up high.
That is not going to last. These drivers will make their way back up to Matthew O'Brien. You got Thomas Harmon in second, already gapping. And we have the 8 sitting center of these cars, pulls it right in front of Brody. I am really surprised they were able to hold on to that. Very sketchy situation, but off and running they are. And that's going to put Tom Flitcroft a couple of spots behind. Man, a lot of contact cars bouncing off of cars, Pete.
Absolutely, the one of Brody Falker, he absolutely threaded the needle between the 23 and the 86. Now the 47 stuck behind that 86. Jose Ruiz in that U.S. Air Force number 23 down low. Matt O'Brien, though, he's got a challenge for the lead. Tom Harmon to his inside.
How you doing there, homeboy?
Caution's out.
Not over yet. Here we go. Another caution. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. Ooh, chaos up ahead of Brian Pizzikemi. Jarrett Cardwell is going to be involved. Let's see if we can find out what happened with him. We'll go ahead and just rewind that a little bit. And he goes spinning like a top.
Yeah, very,
him and
very
Jeff
unfortunate.
Byers, yeah, make a little bit of contact and just get spun hard into the wall. He's going to have to repair that damage. Unfortunate to see. Jeff Byers jumps to pit, so he's got some damage also.
Yeah, this is gonna break. I guess you could say the two of Jarrett Cardwell had a little string of top 10s going, and unfortunately, it's going to break that here off the nose of the 333 of Jeff Byers. Looks like Jeff Byers possibly out of control. Maybe no steering. Maybe broke a toe link, something like that. But Eliza, what could Matt O'Brien possibly be thinking now that we've got our first attempt at a green-white checker?
Same thing he was thinking before. I got to nail that restart, and he had a great start, but he knows now that Tom Harmon, he's going to be all over that restart. He has to keep him behind him. He's going to have to get a little defensive driving and make sure he stays out front.
If I'm him right here, I'm going to choose the high side. I'm going to keep that 68 pinched down. If he knows anything of what the 47 of Justin Anscock was doing before in shifting, maybe try that. You've got to try something. You've got, again, 12-lap older tires than the 68 of Tom Harmon, and the 51 of Andrew Wisdom. Brody Falker also came flying up through as well. Right now sitting P4. Tom Flitcroft back to P5. So it's far from over yet. I'm very, very curious to see what this 43 is going to do to try to hold his spot for the W, or at least finish with a podium position.
Yeah, this is where things get very interesting. You can see these drivers making their way into turn 3, but 3 laps to go. All bets are off. I mean, these guys are going to go for everything they can. They have to be aggressive, and that's where things get interesting at the end of the race. That's why we're seeing these strings of cautions. It's just, it goes with the territory.
Not to add a little bit of drama to this, but Andrew Wisdom is Matt O'Brien's teammate. Is it possible that Andrew Wisdom gets up close to the 68 and maybe does a little bit of side drafting, maybe not give him quite the line? Andrew Wisdom's got just as fast as of a hot rod as the 68 of Tom Harmon. Does he help his teammate grab this W?
I'm sure there's some team communication between O'Brien and Wisdom saying, you know what, keep him busy for me, teammate. But Wisdom, while he wants to help his teammate, he's also got a chance at this win here tonight. So we'll see what he does. He may want to hold him up a little bit, but if I'm Wisdom, I don't want to give away a win. So I may hold him up for a second, but if I see a chance to go for that win, I got to take it.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at that Kings number 43 as we get ready for Darlington next week. Always a throwback race. It'll be interesting to see what kind of cars these guys come out with to celebrate Throwback Weekend, which is usually what the Lady in Black tends to be. Boy, Andrew Wisdom, I'm sure he wants this W. Tom Harmon, he wants it as well. Like you said, he needs to get back to victory lane. Andrew Wisdom, last season's champion, he wants to grab another trophy for himself. The one of Brody Falker, he is close week in and week out. So much can be said about this top 5.
A lot can be said for sure. 2 drivers in the top 5 have a win, and that's Andrew Wisdom and Tom Flitcroft. The rest they would make another new winner, so you know they're gonna go for it. Everything matters here. No point resets, nothing like that. So every point matters. You want to bring it home and first if you can, but if not, you want to bring it home clean and not wrecked out.
Yeah, you don't want to bring back the steering wheel to your boss's holler and say, hey, sorry. Meanwhile, you just wrecked a $500,000 race car. But imagine if that was the case here. But hey, the lights stop. The pace car are out. 43 by virtue of being the control car. He is going to be the first one on that loud pedal. It's going to be interesting to see what Tom Harmon can do up on the high side. Eliza, I think this was the decision that gives the 68 possibly the W, because the 43 he needed to keep that 68 pinched down low so he didn't have the speed off the corners. He might want this one back. Pace car is going to go ahead and make that hard left towards Albuquerque. Let's get ready to roll.
Let's get ready to roll. Let's see what happens on these final laps. It is going to be close. It is going to be tight. Tom Flitcroft already a nudge to Andrew Wisdom. I'm not sure if he appreciated that or not, but Tom Harmon going to bring it down low. Not a great start for him, and 3 wide already for P5.
Look at this, 43. He's got the left rear, or the right rear, excuse me, of his teammate, that 51 Bush machine for Andrew Wisdom, side by side. 43's got that high side. This should help him. Caution's going to fly.
Whenever you can, but
Caution going to fly. We'll see if we can find out where it is. But these guys, this is the frustration, the aggressiveness. Just not much you can do about it. Ooh, overcorrection by the 48 machine. He goes into the wall, and we're going to have Kevin, it looks like, make some contact with him, and that'll bring out the caution here.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the 48. Was very fast in the early part of this race, just getting collected. When you're spinning, in the middle of the track, you're just waiting to be hit, because there's not much room for others to go in order to get around you.
What started off to be a clean race has quickly turned into some pace laps here at the end. We'll see if we can't get these guys to finish it out within a couple of laps, but man, oh man, what a great race leading up to this. Matthew O'Brien still in the lead. His teammate, P2, Tom Harmon, he's got another shot at a restart to kind of nail that. Brody Falliker in 4th, and Justin, who we saw in the lead earlier on, he's sitting P8.
Yeah, Justin, he was up to, I believe, about 6th, but he's fallen back a couple spots. I believe those older tires really starting to plague that number 47 Old Spice machine. But we were talking about team orders a little bit ago. I wonder if Matt O'Brien and Andrew Wisdom are actually talking right now in their channel, or if it is absolute silence. Because you can imagine the 51's going to say, hey, go ahead, let me know when you're going. That way we can kind of maybe go side by side. But if they're side by side, that's just going to draw Tom Harmon right back into the mix. Brody Falliker, we know that he's got a fast machine. So what happens here between teammates with Tom Harmon right behind?
I'm sorry, but teammate or not, I'm not counting you down. At this point, it's every man for themselves. You're going for that win. I'm saying good luck to you. We're going to talk about what's going on behind me, but I don't think I can count you down this time. I'm sorry, friend.
Yep, gotta go. Gotta go. Matt O'Brien, again, he is right now the current series points leader by 8 points, I believe, over Tom Harmon. And, he wants to show that he's not just up there pointing everybody to death. Maybe some people having some bad races now and then. While he's been able to stay consistent, he wants to show everybody that he can get up here and win on what is a very tough track based on the lines, the strategy, the fuel, how cautions have fallen so far this evening as well. He wants those checkers for himself to put it all to bed.
Yeah, I mean, our top 4 drivers are top 4 in points, so that is just going to make these even more closer as far as points go. Very interesting to see indeed, but man, it just shows you the consistency that these drivers have coming into these races, how much talent they have, and how much it means to get a win and get those points.
Yeah, I mean, think about the energy and the excitement and the relief that John Honeycutt felt last week at Dover when he, as he said, after 5 years of finally getting a win in Shake and Bake. I want to say 5 years ago, we were all over on the console side, racing on Heat 4 or Heat 5, and we were racing in all the different leagues and whatnot. So that he's literally coming from the Xbox console over to iRacing with Shake and Bake. That just goes to show the great partnerships, the great depth, the great core drivers that Shake and Bake has season in and season out. This is just the third full season, we'll say that, of the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series. But man, what a great tenure so far, Eliza, and it's just getting started.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been racing with some of these guys out here for 7 to 8 years, and
Mm-hmm.
to see the talent that these guys have, and it continues to grow. We saw it on NASCAR Heat and the Pro Series, and just in leagues in general. We had about 8 seasons out there, and we're on our 3rd season on iRacing. So it's just fun to see these drivers and gain new drivers. Matt O'Brien, Andrew Wisdom, Brody Falliker. I mean, tons of these guys I met on iRacing in different leagues, and they came on over racing. So really fun to get to know them, get to see where their skills are, and watch it grow.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Shake and Bake has about a 3K SOF. That's nothing to balk at whatsoever. A very, very strong field of drivers, and that's why so many are so happy when they finally reach victory lane. Well, Eliza, the lights top the pace car are out. We're going back green. Look at that 43, Eliza. What line did he choose? Let's go.
What line did he choose? And he chose the high side this time. We'll see. I think that may have been, we'll see, to help out his teammate. I don't know. Maybe he might be counting him down. He's got a good restart on that low side, but Matthew O'Brien going to take that lead, tuck in directly in front of Andrew Wisdom. Tom Harmon going to be in 3rd with Brody Falliker. He's going to be on his outside.
Absolutely, side by side yet again. The Kings STP colors on the high side. That 51 Bush machine for Andrew Wisdom down low. The 68 of Tom Harmon. He just wants to see which line is going to move. 51 able to throw it in, but not get it to stick just yet. 43 Matt O'Brien trying to hold on, able to keep it off the wall. Here comes the one. They got to spin behind.
It's going to bring out a caution right before that line. Riley Rosenbrook just lost it coming into the tri-oval off of the exit, and that's going to bring out that caution. I thought for sure, Pete, we were going to get it to the line and see a battle between these teammates, but we are going to stack them up once again. But Andrew Wisdom, he is going to lead us back to green this time.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom, Matt O'Brien just kind of edged out right there. Tom Harmon, he's going to restart P3. So I have to see if I don't think the 51 let the 43 go. I think the 43, by virtue of being the control car, was able to stab the loud pedal first, get ahead of the 51, but as soon as the 51 got into the corner, he was able to pull ahead just a little. And like I said, the 68 just waiting to see which line he was going to be able to go to try to move up his positions.
Yeah, he was able to carry that momentum, get out front, and he's in a prime spot here. He's already got 2 wins this season, so if he wins, this will be his 3rd one. He won the first race, round 4, at Circuit of the Americas, and then he won his 2nd race, round 6, at Texas 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I tell you, anytime we get to a road course, it's pretty much, who's racing for second when it comes to Andrew Wisdom being in the field. The man is just an ace on the road courses. And then, we talked about COTA and then Texas Motor Speedway. Texas was very, very good to the 51.
It sure was. He went back-to-back in Texas for COTA and then also the Oval. So he does great there, and I can tell you he was in the IndyCar series. Just phenomenal driver on any car you put him in. Road course, oval, you name it, but road courses are definitely his specialty. But tonight he's proving he can also be a great oval driver heading into victory lane.
Yeah, in my opinion, he proved that last season
Oh,
by winning the
absolutely.
championship overall. Especially to be able to do it over James Holzer, who came in second in points, and that was by the slimmest of margins. So this 51, anytime he gets close to the front and he's got some clean air on the nose of his Bush machine, just watch out.
On board with Thomas Harmon sitting P3 as we get ready to go back to green. Matthew O'Brien directly ahead of him, and he's going to have Brody Falliker behind him. We saw him in first earlier on. He was my pick to win tonight. It's going to happen. If it doesn't happen tonight, it will happen at some point this season. I guarantee it, and I hope I'm not jinxing him, Pete.
No, not at all. Like I said earlier, I told him the same exact thing. The guy is just too good of a driver, and he does not give up. He'll charge. But he does not give up. He is very, very skilled. He's very fast. He's very consistent. And it is just another matter of time before he gets to see those checkers fly over him first.
We have guys out in chat saying, it's the race that never ends. I got to go to bed, Snow Leopard says. We're getting there.
Go to bed too.
We're getting there. I promise you. Great race, but man, the cautions are coming at the end of it, and it's just the simply due to 3 wide and cautions after cautions, aggression picks up, and here we go, 3 laps to go once again.
Yeah, after making a round of green flag pit stops, the aggression level is absolutely pegged. And these guys are all going to do what they feel they've got to do in order to gain max possible points for themselves here from Kansas. So the race has been great, but Eliza, I think we're about to see a very, very amazing finish.
I think so too. Brendan Book out there in the racing official booth along with Papa Bear, Mr. Campbell. They're keeping busy tonight.
Absolutely. I'm going to guess the guys that are at fault, EOLs are flying and conversations are being had. What a race. But Eliza, yeah, 68 now. He's going to be restarting in P3 on the bottom side. Tom Harmon with Luke Allen. How about Luke Allen right now sitting P5 in that number 7 machine? Don't really talk much about him, or we haven't tonight anyway, but that Mountain Dew or those Mountain Dew colors up on the high side with Brody Falliker right in front of him. Brody's just going to make a hole, see if that 7 can follow.
Yeah, he's looking strong out here tonight, so great job for him. Rivers Jones once again sitting in that top 10. We'll see where he can finish. I'm hoping, cross your fingers, we can get it green to the finish here as we get ready to go back with 2 laps to go. We're going to have Andrew Wisdom on the outside, Matthew O'Brien on the inside. They are stacked up on that inside line. Man, oh man, take a look at that, Pete.
Yeah, not quite sure if the 43 spun him, but he definitely had a mirrorful of the 68. Look at the 91 throwing it on the bottom side. That's Rivers Jones. He's going to stall out the 68 just a little. Here comes that 7 up on the high side, following the 1, just like we mentioned.
Caution out. No, say it ain't so, Pete. Say it ain't so. Riley Rosenbrook, once again, it looks like. We saw him involved earlier on. Joseph Turley crashed here. Let's see if we can find out what happened. Yeah, we completely... We're not going to show it. 34, Jordan McGraw gets thrown into him. So unfortunate to see. Oh my gosh.
It hurts to be that far back.
It does indeed.
Very, very unfortunate.
All right, let's rewind that. The software isn't going to show me, but 3 wide. I mean, PJ O'Leary and
those guys in the back need to settle down.
Yeah. 3 wide, Jordan on the bottom, PJ in the middle, 97 on top. Just pure chaos.
Lucky for Jose making it through there almost unscathed, but 90. That hurt.
Pete, that's going to be it. Andrew Wisdom leading back as we were Andrew Wisdom is going to be first. Brody Falker in second. Matthew O'Brien will wind up third with Luke Allen in fourth. So great finish for Luke Allen, but not the finish we wanted to see, but it's the finish we got with Andrew Wisdom securing his third win of the season. Let's get these guys in the booth.
Eliza, I think this is the first time ever in Shake and Bake series history here on iRacing where they've actually maxed out the green-white checker. Very, but you know what? That just goes to show the competitive spirit of everybody that's here on track. They're not going to be here if it wasn't for a very, very strong purpose.
Yeah, you know, all these drivers are going to go out for everything that they can. But man, not the finish we wanted to see, but Andrew Wisdom gets his third win of the season. You can see him going here to celebrate. Andrew Wisdom, it's Eliza in the booth. Man, you know, I know you're happy to win. What'd you think about that finish, though?
It's kind of hard to say, right? Because, like, the way that it was playing out before the end of the race, like, I don't think I'm in position to win it unless we have nearly every single one of those yellows. Kind of once we had the first one. But, like, generally speaking, yeah, it's not, I don't think it's the type of finish you want to see, kind of like you guys were saying. The car is just, like, it felt pretty tight. I mean, it could get loose if you pushed it really hard. Maybe some of that was happening at the end if people were kind of over-rotating the car in the middle of the corner. But, yeah, just kind of took a gamble there in the last stop, taking 2 versus 4, because 2 sometimes will fire off just a little bit better, and almost ended up in a spot where it was just a little bit too much time, and I think I may have probably not had the tire advantage I was hoping for on the colder temperatures, but still worked out. Kind of tried to work with O'Brien the best we could to maximize the results for the team and kind of help everyone's point situation the best we can, so can't ask for too much more. Happy to get another win. I felt like overall I'm getting a lot better, kind of well-rounded in the car instead of doing well on road courses and short tracks. We have 2 out of 3 wins on a 1.5 miles this year, so it's good to see. But yeah, not quite the finish we're hoping for, but can't really complain since it put me in a good spot.
Put you in a good spot, and you had a great restart on that final restart there. So great win. How was your car handling? Was it tight on that final restart, or did you feel pretty good?
I felt pretty good on the restarts. I felt like maybe I wasn't driving in as hard as what I should have there at the end, but kind of on the trade-off, it turned really, really good through the center. And I luckily didn't really have to worry about somebody being directly on my bumper the last time there. But yeah, one of those tracks where it'll get tight in a hurry if you push too hard, but kind of that trade-off of car handling versus track position. So luckily it just worked out.
Well, you did great. You won 2 races in Texas. Tonight you brought it home in Kansas. So great job on 3 wins in the season, Andrew.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Pete. Back to you.
All right, Brody Falker. It is repeat, bud. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, Brody. It was right about this time last year. Eliza mentioned it earlier where you started to click off a few runner-up positions before you finally got those checkers in your hand. Talk us through the very strong car that you had this evening, the final run that we had, and your expectations going forward.
Well, first of all, I was really surprised with the qualifying effort that I put together. You know, I felt like early in the race it was more about clean air, judging off of the few early cautions that we had. I don't know if I was saving tire better or if it was just the effect of clean air, but I was able to save better tires pretty much every. And you know, that was the name of the game for at least if we got a long run. Armin and I kind of laid back and saved tires, and it paid off with the very long run that we had.
We did notice after you led a few laps, you started to drop back just a little bit. And usually, if you're in the lead here, you want to keep that lead because the dirty air can just be so bad, and you start to get that dump truck feeling. We heard a lot about how tight the car was in practice. Some of it were actually saying it was absolutely just pushing, the old adage, like a dump truck. Anyway, you really seemed to carry a whole lot of speed off the corner. Didn't really look like you got too tail happy. Your car overall looked to be handling pretty well. Is Was that about right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the setup that we put together definitely hit, and the car was uh, loose when it needed to be and tightened up whenever it needed to be. Um, I'd say it was near perfect, honestly. I just needed, the race definitely did not play out in our hands. Um, you know,
Well, it definitely a great effort as we've seen all season long so far. We've now hit the midpoint of the season. Next week is Darlington, Lady in Black, track too tough to tame, whatever you want to call it. I imagine that Team FIWB, as big as your teams are, might see a little bit of a throwback to start the second season. Or I'm sorry, to start the second half off right.
yeah, we don't have, or not that I know of. I don't have a throwback made as of yet, but I'm sure that we'll figure that out and throw one together. I mean, the throwback race is such a cool race. You know, you just get to throw it back to basic, your favorite driver or cool schemes that you've had that NASCAR's had in the past. It's a cool little event, and I'm sure we'll take part in it.
All right, Brody. Congratulations yet again on this runner up. I know it's not going to be long before this checkers fall in your hand. Great job, sir.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, Eliza, all you.
All right, we got Matt O'Brien sitting P3 to finish out the race tonight. I know that final restart didn't go as planned for you. You led a couple of restarts back, had a strong car tonight. Take us through your race.
An odd one for sure. Didn't really think we had a shot to win like halfway through. Pitted early with those green flag stops. Ended up in a good spot there. And that kind of put us in that position. That a huge restart and got by the people that pitted with me on that, and was the guy in fresh tires, and was battling Brody and Harmon like 3 wide and stuff. Really aggressively. Very lucky. Shout out to Brody because I about ended me and his race, but he lifted. And then like 8 to go, I felt like I had it won. I didn't think the tires would get to me in time, and then the slew of cautions. I mean, there's nothing I could have done. I mean, those restarts, I was full throttle through 1 and 2, and like, and it's like, oh, they're still driving by me pretty much. So, obviously there was the one like 20 feet before the start finish line. Andrew was probably like a foot ahead of me, so that's a little unfortunate. Maybe if I held the lead there, I could have held on for the last caution, but I don't know. Kind of a stupid ending for just to have like 5 cautions in the last 10 laps like that. I don't know what happened in the back, but kind of stupid.
Yeah, an unfortunate end with a great race going throughout, but a lot of 3 wide is what caused the chaos. But great finish for you, P3. Almost had that win, and I know you're another one that I think is going to get it before the season is over. Frustrating ending for you considering how many restarts you led, but you did a great job. And points leader, been consistent with that. We'll see how that shakes up after tonight, but man, fun race leading up to those final few cautions. Great job, guys.
Yeah, I fully expect Harmon, if he's in that spot, to play some restart games because me and Andrew we're playing some games. So
we were talking about that, saying, I wonder how much team communication's going on right now. Are we counting each other down or are we not?
we weren't cutting each other down, but
yeah. I said I would be on my own. I'm not counting my friend down, you know, my teammate. I'm on my own. Sorry. But yeah, it's every man for themselves. But I'm sure there was some communication trying to get each other in the best finish possible. But Wisdom, congratulations on the win. A third win of the season. Next week, we are headed to Darlington, Pete.
Yeah, Darlington, Charlotte, and then Sonoma. The next 3 races, very different in their own right. The Lady in Black have to see who gets a little bit more than that famed Darlington stripe. But whoever comes away with the W, gonna prove that she wasn't too tough to tame them. I'm absolutely excited for that. Eliza, this has been another great race. Glad to be here. One hell of a finish for everybody. Let's go.
You said it, and we'll see you guys next Monday night, same time, same day, Monday at around 8:17 p.m. Eastern time. You guys take it easy. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it, and I know the drivers do. Take it easy.